prepared for war. I'm a gladiator that will never fall. I'm a gladiator, so I gotta stand tall. Gladiators fight with their backs against the wall. I'm a gladiator prepared for war. I'm a gladiator that will never fall. I'm a gladiator.
Our next contest is in the professional featherweight division, calling for 3 5-minute rounds. First, let me introduce to you, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in 145 pounds, stands 5 feet 9 inches tall with a reach of 69 inches. His record, 5 wins, 7 losses. He fights for Team Demolition from Findlay, Ohio, Steve Superfly Smith.
Steve Smith looking very jazzed tonight.
145 pounds of 5'8" stance. He reaches 69 inches with a record, 3 wins, 4 losses, fighting from Team Dignan Broomball Fight Team, and he comes from Portage, Pennsylvania. He's Charlie, the Madman Gathers!
I think we know whose side the crowd is on tonight there, Albert.
It does not need to be said. So we got Steve Smith in the black and gray Jocko shorts, Brad coming out of the red corner. Charlie Gathers in the black and gray Kimura head shorts, coming out of the blue corner. Nice show of respect, touching the gloves.
And Gathers takes center cage immediately.
So now, Grant, if you're Steve Smith, you know you have a victory over Gathers already. Do you think that gives you confidence in your training while you're preparing?
I would say so, but I could also see that being a point of contention in your training. Perhaps you could undertrain in certain areas due to your confidence.
Oh!
Nice wild punch by Smith.
Charlie Gathers often describes his style as he knows how to brawl. He's been doing it all his life. But Dignan Brumbaugh, he also likes to characterize as a ground school.
Smith with his back against the fence. I'm sorry, Albert, continue.
No. I'm just saying, Charlie has to believe his game is complete. I mean, he's striking, he's getting ready to throw sweeps and takedowns. Charlie Gathers looks like he might have the makings of an Americana lock.
Steve Smith on his back. Charlie Gathers in side mount now.
The problem that a lot of folks have when they fight Charlie Gathers for the first time is they're not prepared for how intense he is in the opening round. Steve Smith has already been there. He knows that Charlie's going to bull rush him.
Charlie Gathers is using a very interesting approach right now. He's being very, very smothering, using his left shoulder onto Smith's chin and his jaw. That can make it hard to breathe, and that can make it hard to pace yourself when you're on your back.
Well, he has that arm around the neck, his shoulder in the throat, almost like a Von Flue choke, but he's almost trying to hold on for something like an Americana. If he slips that hand in, we've almost got a modified Cobra.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't want to count out the idea of there being a bicep slicer even here tonight. Both of these gentlemen are schooled on the ground. Submissions between the two of them. Gathers on top.
Last time Steve Smith fought for Gladiators in the Cage, he fought Jason the Whip Willett. He found himself in a very unfavorable position on the ground. You have to think he trained to not be in that position ever again.
Absolutely. Gathers being very patient with his ground game.
But he's also spending a lot of energy on that Americana lock.
Absolutely he is, Albert. Look for Smith to roll through.
Oh, Charlie almost had an armbar. Oh!
And a wild knee and a trip by Gathers.
Now, Grant, would you call it poetic justice if Charlie Gathers won the fight by guillotine choke here tonight?
I would absolutely say that, Albert.
What really impresses me about Steve Smith is he's a scrapper. He goes in, he fights. It doesn't matter the situation, doesn't matter if he feels he's outmatched, he goes in and he fights.
Charlie Gathers is doing a very impressive job of smothering the face of Steve Smith. He's been burying his forehead into the face, keeping constant pressure, keeping on top of him. This is going to be a very good technique.
Oh, absolutely. Now, for our folks who are watching on iPay-per-view, you're seeing Charlie Gathers and Steve Smith put on a great ground clinic. But I want you to know both men do have knockout power in their hands. No matter where this fight goes, it's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. Gathers landing some very powerful blows from the top. Smith looking to lock up the triangle choke, possibly the armbar.
Almost has a go-go plata. And there's the armbar.
There the armbar is in, and it is tight. Steve Smith wrenching on the arm, and that is ugly and deep. Gathers fighting does not want to tap, kicking the leg over, trying to push and pull away from Steve Smith's anaconda-like grip.
Charlie's turning his hand in. He's taking some of the pressure off the elbow, but that still is intense.
Absolutely. It looks like Gathers may be out. And is the case. Gathers on top and repaying him with some ground and pound.
He's repaying him with interest on that. Now see, that just goes back to saying Charlie Gathers is a survivor. How many different fighters we've seen would have tapped out to that armbar? Charlie says absolutely not.
Let me tell you, that was very, very deep, and that was extended, Albert.
Something of a head and arm choke.
If Gathers can manage to get Smith to unlatch his arm, he may be able to pull this choke out. Softening him up with blows to the face. And a tight gable grip for the choke.
Oh,
Smith is throwing the panic punches.
If Charlie Hips were to shift his hips from underneath him, there'd be a lot more torque on that neck and that choke. He almost wants to sit out on his right hip to put the pressure on.
Absolutely. Gathers now piking his weight, and he got the tap. Charlie Gathers. Win by arm triangle. What a beautiful submission finish by Charlie Gathers.
Let's talk about numbers, Grant. Charlie Gathers just improved to a 500 record. He has wiped that loss. It's clean. It's been vindicated.
Or do you smell a third fight, Albert? Can that happen in Gladiators of the Cage?
Anything can happen in Gladiators of the Cage.
Anything can happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner at 4 minutes 45 seconds of round number 1 via tap out as a result of the head and arm choke. It was Charlie Madman Gathers!
Very good fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from both of these fighters. They left it in the cage on that one. Charlie, last time I saw you fight was at the Pittsburgh Indoor Soccer Arena in Harborville. A very different madman tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Steve Smith, one tough SOB. Thought he almost got my arm off. He's about to take it home in his book bag, but I always, I hold on, I never tap. I gotta keep going, baby. Thank you all for coming, love you all!
Any sponsors or anybody you'd like to thank, sir?
They all know who they are. I love every one of my sponsors. I ain't gonna name you all, but you know who I am.
Nothing worse than forgetting somebody, ready? Let's give it up for Charlie Madman Gathers!
Badass Pads, the new reusable motorcycle seat. Badass Pads use pressure-sensitive sticky gel to ensure no scratches, rings, or dents. Badass Pads also feature a gel and memory foam insert for maximum comfort. Application is easy. Simply remove the protective plastic and place on a clean, dry fender or rider seat. When done, replace the plastic and store for the next ride. Get your Badass Pad today. Available in 3 sizes at badasspads.com.
I'm Heidi Roop, owner of the Gold Buyers of Pittsburgh.
And I'm Phil Bork, the old 2-9er. And if you're in the market for beautiful jewelry or high-end watches, then visit my friends at Gold Buyers of Pittsburgh.
We have engagement rings, wedding bands, diamond necklaces, silver, and vintage jewelry, all priced at 50 to 60% off retail.
I've bought gifts for my family, and they were amazed.
Visit us on Lebanon Road in West Mifflin across from the Harley-Davidson store for all your gift-giving needs.
Stop by today. You'll be glad you did.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've got something to hold on to it now. It's time to get serious. Our next event is a return grudge match from December 7th, and this evening it is for the welterweight championship of the world. First introducing out of the red corner, he weighed in at 170 pounds, 5 feet 11 inches tall. He has a reach of 71 inches. His record, 3 wins, 1 loss. From Dragon's Den MMA, from Bridgeport. Virginia, please welcome Zach Bad News at 11, Goble! And his opponents, he weighed in 170 pounds, he stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, he has a reach of 170 inches, his record 7 wins, 4 losses, he fights for Tactical Combat Academy from Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Brett Showtime Schoenfeld! Let's go to our referee, Jimmy Chapel, for the final instructions.
A huge outpouring of support for Schoenfeld here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Let's forget that it's a title fight. Let's forget that it's two athletes just getting into the cage. We have two guys who are really kind of upbeat, like to bring positive energy, but Grant, I'm telling you, in the cage here tonight, there's some ill will.
Both fighters eyeballing each other from across the cage. No glove touch here, no love between the fighters.
Zach Goble opens up with a Superman punch. I've seen Brett Schoenfeld fight quite a bit. I've never seen him this intense or this angry.
Schoenfeld was the epitome of intensity earlier today. Shoulder check by Schoenfeld and an overhand in the clinch. Goble's back is on the cage and Schoenfeld has double underhooks.
Grant, I think everybody in Johnstown knows tonight it's showtime.
It is showtime. Goble working on a nice whizzer, nice overhook. Schoenfeld stomping the feet, kicking the legs, causing damage.
Those weren't just sounds. Like, again, there are bad intentions going around that cage right now.
Absolutely.
And you know, these guys were really positive. They were speaking highly of each other until last night. In 24 hours, blood turned sour and it started to boil.
Schoenfeld seems not particular about where he's hitting Goble tonight. He wants damage and he wants it now. Goble going for the guillotine, isolating the neck. Can he get under Schoenfeld's chin?
Schoenfeld with excellent hand control, and I think that has to go back to his time wrestling for the Altoona Area High School.
Absolutely. Very good show of wrestling on the part of Schoenfeld. Can he get the dump? And Goble defends.
Great job of popping Goble's heads out, but Goble, oh!
Schoenfeld on top in Goble's half guard, almost a reversal. Beautiful technique by Schoenfeld.
Schoenfeld's corner's calling for elbows in the head of Goble.
Schoenfeld working the ground and pound from the half guard of Goble. Schoenfeld with Goble's head stuffed into the fence.
Oh yeah. Now, Grant, I've seen a lot of different Brett Schoenfelds. I've seen the debuting pro Brett Schoenfeld. I've seen the champion Brett Schoenfeld. This is an angry Brett Schoenfeld who's not a fighter. He's looking to hurt.
Schoenfeld is looking to cause damage wherever he can. Goble with an armbar attempt from the bottom on Schoenfeld, and it is in. Can he pull it out?
Schoenfeld doing a great job positioning his hips to defend.
And Schoenfeld's out, and it's a scramble. Goble on the back of Schoenfeld.
We talk a lot about Schoenfeld's wrestling acumen, but it looks like Goble has got some pretty solid ground chops as well.
I couldn't agree with you more, Albert. Schoenfeld now, Goble almost on the back of Schoenfeld, riding his hips.
Goble's trying to figure out where he wants that elbow to go. It's the question of, can it go to 12-6, or do it go to 9-3?
Absolutely. Goble looking for something from the back mount, the choke. Just staying on top of Schoenfeld like white on rice.
Zach Goble in the white trunks, Brett Schoenfeld in the dark patchwork trunks. Now, Grant, knowing that Brett Schoenfeld lost by rear naked choke in no subtle fashion, do you think he trained to guard that extra a little bit more than he normally would have?
I would say so, but as of right now, Schoenfeld's biggest concern is going to be a Kimura on his left arm, although now he is out and back. And that is getting wrenched. Schoenfeld in full mount, and the submission has been nullified.
Oh,
beautiful escape.
Absolutely.
Schoenfeld ground and pounding with Goble's head in the fence again.
He's got a head and arm choke in there as well.
Oh my.
Might not be able to finish it off, but what a great way to end the round.
Absolutely. Taking just every last bit of oxygen that he can pull from Zach Goble.
Zach Goble will have 60 seconds in between rounds. If you, in the round like that, take an oxygen away, it's hard to recover in 60 seconds.
Schoenfeld going for the kill. Ground and pound. Flurry of shots.
Wow, what a flurry from Schoenfeld.
Goebel is maintaining his composure, and that's great.
Absolutely incredible.
Schoenfeld looking to cradle Goebel's head and give him some shots to the mouth. Working the ribs and then the head.
Brett Schoenfeld's doing a good job of trying to nullify Zach Goebel's cardio. That includes the choke attempts, punches to the ribs, punches to the head, of course.
Elbows from the top by Schoenfeld, and there was an elbow from the bottom by Goebel. Schoenfeld takes the back at the end of the first round. Could that be a round clincher, Albert?
Oh, absolutely it could be a round clincher. Schoenfeld is scoring so many valuable points right now.
Schoenfeld, both hooks in.
I can't imagine that scoring points is on his mind, though. Both these guys are looking to hurt and they're looking to damage. Now, in the sake of fairness, though, I have to give that round to Schoenfeld.
I would agree, Albert. I definitely would agree on that one. Schoenfeld showed better wrestling, he showed better control, and he was moving Goebel around the cage at will.
GCA in Schoenfeld's corner, the Matt Factory and Goebel's.
Both fighters looking fresh and ready to go in their corners. Both fighters receiving instruction from their corners.
Now here's something to consider, Grant. With Schoenfeld's flurry, do you think he might have drained himself emotionally and mentally?
I don't want to think, Albert, that cardio is going to be a factor for either one of these fighters, but you really never know.
And like you said, both guys are fresh to fight, but I mean, Schoenfeld is poured all he could into stopping Goebel, and Goebel's still standing.
I am a bit concerned about Schoenfeld's right knee. Now, is that something that could have happened during the fight? If you take a look, it's a bit swollen and it's got a white patch on it. Actually, that's both of his knees.
I think that might have been the time he spent trying to work the wrestling in the ground.
I was going to say, those are jiu-jitsu calluses on his knees, possibly. Worth more than cauliflower ear these days, right? And they're back at it for round two. Brett Showtime Schoenfeld and Zach Bad News Goebel. Head kick by Goebel.
Goebel does have that dynamic striking, and he just put it to work on Brett Schoenfeld's liver.
Zach Goebel has the head isolated of Brett Schoenfeld right now, not working toward a choke, not able to get around the throat, not able to get underneath the chin, but he is pushed up against the fence. Schoenfeld with a backwards elbow on him.
That was unique, and that was something to see.
Goebel turns Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld's back is now on the fence.
If you're Zach Goebel, how would you have ever expected that elbow to show up like that?
My goodness, I could not tell you. A scramble on the ground. Goebel may end up with the back, but he may not, depending. Beautiful knee by Goebel.
Whichever fighter is crowned the welterweight champion tonight, they will have earned it.
Head kick.
It's not a gentleman's fight anymore, Grant. These guys are looking to throw.
Absolutely. The crowd wants to see it. Flying knee by Goebel. Wow. My Lord. That was beautiful. A flying knee on the back step by Zach Goebel.
There is only one other fighter that I can see that can throw power shots from a backwards momentum like that, and that's the Iceman Chuck Liddell.
Absolutely. I have to wonder right now, Albert, I'm not sure. Do you think that Schoenfeld is shooting for the takedown for tactic, or do you think he may be gassed, he may be rocked?
Well, that knee, it would certainly be fair to say he might have been rocked and just grabbed that knee out of desperation. However, knowing that Brett Schoenfeld is the wrestler he is, it may have been part of strategy. I just don't know.
Absolutely. I also want to point out in the first round, it looked like Zach Goebel was going for a real serious attack on Schoenfeld's left arm with that Kimura. We just saw him grab it again. Could that be part of his game plan?
Anything is possible at this point.
Everything's possible at this point.
I think when a fight gets down to bad feelings and anger like that, it's not so much strategy as much as baser instinct to hurt.
Schoenfeld now has the back of Goebel with both hooks in, and he's softening him up with punches.
This is a dangerous spot for Goebel to be in.
Schoenfeld not able to open up completely with punches from both hands due to his proximity to the cage. If only he could move towards center cage, he may have a chance of getting off with some ground and pound right now.
Goble's propped up on, or he was anyway, was propped up on his elbows, creating space for Schoenfeld to get shots in.
Watch for Schoenfeld to possibly throw an armbar on Goble's right arm. I saw it, and he's out. That's a non-possibility now. What a back and forth fight tonight, Albert.
These are the fights that bring us to watching MMA. It's these moments right here.
And you know, the entire time leading up to this fight, everybody's been talking. Zach Goble, Brett Schoenfeld.
Oh, yeah.
What's going to happen? How's it going to go? This is the fight we wanted to see tonight, folks.
It's been fun banter. We said guys who are good on the mic but can also fight. And then again, in 24 hours, it changes.
Absolutely. Schoenfeld looking for a heel hook.
Oh!
He's got the position. Can he get the grip?
Schoenfeld almost had a heel hook as opponent Ted Red Worthington, and you figure these guys have been fighting for, 7 minutes almost now. They're working hard. They're slippery. They're sweaty. They're tired.
Brett Schoenfeld once again back into the guard of Zach Goble. Goble's head is in the fence.
Not where Goble wants to be. Certainly Schoenfeld's ready to inflict some damage.
Schoenfeld just working on softening him up with those punches and the elbows. Could it be enough for a finish? We don't quite know yet. I have to say, I think it might have been a bad idea tactically for Goble to turn his head away, though.
Oh, yeah. Nice job throwing an elbow from the guard. He certainly wants to sweep, get top mount if he's going to throw elbows like that.
Absolutely. And Goble with an arm triangle attempt from the bottom, and it's tight. It is tight, and he's turned. Does he have the grip strength right now? Does he have the cardio? And he lets go, and Schoenfeld is back in Goble's guard. Same position once again, softening him up with the punches.
With all the wrestling you see here tonight, Grant, I don't think Goble had the bicep strength to really torque the choke the way he needed to finish.
Absolutely, and as we've been talking about earlier, these guys are professionals. They know what they're doing. They want to be sweaty and greasy during these fights.
Goble's gonna get a body lock here. Oh!
Body triangle by Zach Goble.
I have to think if you're Brett Schoenfeld, you'd rather pass out than tap out
Zach
again.
Goble is cranking the neck of Schoenfeld, and it is not good.
It's not under the
Schoenfeld
chin.
is out.
Wow. God, Schoenfeld's bleeding pretty bad.
What a round, Albert.
I give the first round to Schoenfeld, certainly the second round to Goble.
Absolutely, both fighters having a tremendous will here tonight. Both looking for a finish, neither fighter playing it safe.
Schoenfeld's got a pretty good mouse underneath his eye, and it looks like he's bleeding from the nose.
Absolutely, the short elbows from the bottom of Goble seem to have been making their mark.
It's Peyton Manning who's comfortable playing football in a style that can kill you with 1,000 cuts. It seems like this is the game that Goble and Schoenfeld are playing right now.
Absolutely. Schoenfeld's face is not looking great for him.
And if that cut gets any closer to the eye, we are in real danger of the doctor stopping the fight.
Absolutely. Zach Goble, although he spent a lot of that last round on the first round on his back, he looks fresh, he looks clean, no cuts, no bruises.
Yeah. But there's only one way that is certain for either of these men to become welterweight champion. That is to stop the fight by KO, submission, or cut.
Looking for a finish here in the third round, Albert. Here we go.
Grant, watching these guys fight the first time, you would have never guessed that the rematch would be such the epic battle that it is.
Goble's getting his footwork together. Light on the feet is Goble as he's tagging Schoenfeld, but they are brawling and trading.
You know those shots the shots you take on your feet, they might not do a whole lot of. Oh!
Another flying knee by Goble. Beautiful, beautiful technique.
Grant, that eye of the left eye of Schoenfeld is certainly swollen, close to closing shut.
Let's hope he can make it for another 4.5 minutes.
Goble posting,
Beautiful spin to the back, textbook wrestling. He's probably been doing that since elementary school.
You have to wonder, Grant, with the rivalry that this has become, you have to think, like, the Schoenfeld and Goble want to say, oh, I'm the better wrestler, too. They're obviously throwing strikes, they're trading hands. But now, like, the wrestling's kind of like, it's a big deal for both of them.
Now I want to point out, Goebel appears to be trapping the right arm of Schoenfeld. This could go either way. Schoenfeld could turn that into a single leg takedown, but Goebel could actually trap that arm and do some very, very bad damage himself.
Oh, absolutely. I have to imagine from this spot, Goebel wants to get his hooks in. He wants that choke. He stopped Brett Schoenfeld with it once. He can do it again.
A minute and a half into the third round, and this has been all Goebel so far. Schoenfeld turning, trying to reverse and get on the back. Goebel is doing a headlock. He is wrenching on a headlock, and he spins out.
That up kick could have hurt.
Up kicks by Schoenfeld, and they land.
Jim Chappell stands it up.
The crowd is going wild right now, folks.
Brett Schoenfeld could be a little slower getting to his feet.
Look for Goebel to start doing that fancy footwork. He's fresh. He's not tired. Goebel can hardly see.
This is what I was saying, Grant, about did Schoenfeld spend too much emotionally in his head? He poured everything he had in that first round trying to stop Zach Goebel, and he couldn't do it.
Absolutely, and I can't help but think that the uncertainty of tonight's bout may have played a big factor in the mentality of Brett Schoenfeld.
Absolutely.
Goebel on top in a front headlock position. Beautiful wrestling by Goebel. He's looking to turn, possibly spin to the back of Schoenfeld.
Excellent hand control by Schoenfeld, though.
Very good at keeping him from doing that turn I just mentioned. Look for the flying knee by Goebel, and a good punch by Schoenfeld.
Goebel ate a punch, and he told Schoenfeld, good job. Wow.
Schoenfeld tumbles, and Goebel is back on top.
Yes, he is.
Having a beautiful crab ride, not putting his hooks in on the back of Schoenfeld, riding the backs of his thighs, making sure he can't wiggle, and he looks like he's working for the G&P.
Grant, this fight has been so back and forth, so dramatic. This is a title fight, Grant. This is a textbook title fight.
Absolutely. After all this work, one of them will leave with the jewelry.
And if I'm not mistaken, they'll be the inaugural. There's that back elbow.
More back elbows. This is amazing. The back elbows that Brett Schoenfeld has pulled from disadvantageous positions in this fight are very impressive.
Again, you got a top position like that. You got the back. When would you ever expect that back elbow's coming to you? Rarely, if ever.
Rarely, if ever. And Goebel ate more than one of those tonight. This is a position we've seen a few times already in this fight. Goebel crab riding on the back of Schoenfeld, throwing the punches from the back.
Schoenfeld, he could roll over into a knee bar. I don't think he'll want to do that.
Goebel, once again, trying to get his hooks in, trying to get a really good control of Schoenfeld's back, possibly to get the choke.
Less than 60 seconds for either man to finish the fight.
Less than 60 seconds. If I were Zach Goebel right now, I mean, he just needs to get the punches going. Schoenfeld needs to stand up and throw. This is a back and forth fight. No room for a decision on either fighter's part.
I don't think it'd be a satisfying victory if it went to decision for either man.
Beautiful shots by Goebel directly to the face of Schoenfeld from the back.
Wow.
As I said earlier, you have to wonder if Zach Goebel's doing a good thing or a bad thing by locking up Schoenfeld's arm, and it looks like he's causing a lot of damage to Schoenfeld.
Those elbows are dangerously close to the spine of Schoenfeld. Goebel can't afford to lose points now with an accidental spine shot.
Less than 10 seconds on the clock. Looks like this one may go to a decision.
I tell you, Grant, if any fight tonight was going to go to the distance, this one I think had to be the one.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. Both fighters having a very fine show of respect. A nice sign of love between the fighters. There was a lot of bad blood before the fight, and it's really good to see them shake hands and get it done.
Well, Grant, you're angry at a man, and then you go in and have a fight like that. I can't imagine there's anything left to be angry about. Go get it,
I
man.
don't give a damn what anybody says. UFC and Bellator got nothing on this fight tonight. This is one of the best fights I've ever seen. Let's give it up for both of these guys. Now the official decision. All three judges scored it 29-28, a very close decision, but it is unanimous. For your winner and new Gladiators of the Cage welterweight champion of the world, Fighting out of the red corner, Zach Bad News at 11, Gobble!
Wow, that was a very surprising decision, I gotta tell you, Albert.
Yeah, I mean, I understand most
Have a
guys
big
would
round
have
of applause for
Absolutely.
Mr. Sean
I see it.
Showtime put on a real show tonight. Let's hear it for Showtime.
I see it, but I know Johnstown does not like it.
Oh, no. And I'll tell you, the real winners here tonight are the fans of Gladiators in the Cage, because if either man would have won, it would have been a champion they could get behind and they could have rooted for. So we all win in that aspect.
Absolutely.
The news is good tonight. Another win. What do you got to say? Woo! He took you to the limit. You got to give him some credit, man. That was an outstanding fight.
No, I got to thank him for wanting it so bad. Building a little hype. That was a little fun. I want to thank my new team, the Matt Factory, for letting me train with them. I'm going to continue doing it. I'd like to thank the doctor that busted his ass to try to get me my medicals. I'd like to thank everybody back at home. I'd like to thank Serb. I'd like to thank all the crew. I'd like to thank all the crew working on the cage. I'd like to thank this guy right here. Yes, sir. And you know it's coming. It was a pleasure. And if there's one thing you can count on, that's me pleasuring myself.
Stay here, young man. We got a belt for you. You got some hardware to take home. Let's hear it for Zach Bad News at 11, Gobble!
Pure class by Bad News at 11 Global here tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Train hard, look good, feel better.
Come to the rehab center.
When you're charged with a criminal case, you're in for the fight of your life. It's you versus the government. You need somebody to fight hard. The law offices of David S. Schrager have over 75 years of criminal law experience. I've been a criminal lawyer for over 35 years. Give us a call for a free consultation. You need somebody to fight for your life, for your freedom, and for your reputation.
Did you ever consider using a chiropractor as your primary healthcare provider? Chiropractic care can maximize fertility, health, energy, and moods, and can even eliminate the need for many drugs or medications. Just like going to a gym or to your dentist, chiropractic care is preventative. Call today for your free report or to schedule your no-risk consultation. Call 1-800-461-ADIO now.
First round.
So Nick Krause, being a champion for another promotion, he's coming into Gladiators in the Cage territory and he's challenging the king.
Absolutely. Just as we were saying about Zach Goebel, Nick Krause having the championship mentality means one important thing: he can find a way to win. He doesn't have to go out and get a one-punch knockout or the submission. He will find a way to pull out the W.
The quality of every great champion is not so much the performance, but the finish. It's, have you done enough to win? That is the common denominator quality of every great champion.
Absolutely. Nick Krause now approaching the cage, coming from Fort Wayne, Indiana, training at Lee Brothers and Team Talamantes.
Both men have 10 fights under their belt. Of course, I'd like to thank everyone in Johnstown, Pennsylvania tonight for coming out. Friends that we've seen, people we know. Johnstown legend Sherrod Hall was in attendance tonight. We want to thank him for coming out.
Nick Krause has had his last 3 wins by submission or technical knockout. Holding a record of 8-2 as a professional, that is something to be said.
Oh, absolutely. Now, what I'm noticing a lot too is okay, tonight's fight is indeed 5 5-minute rounds, which is big. I mean, that's the first title fight we've had in this area that's gone 5 5s.
Chris Dempsey, 26 years old, fighting from Ambridge, Pennsylvania at the Mat Factory.
The Mat Factory, of course, was Zach Goebel's new team that got him to victory, so clearly they've got winning gold on the mind.
Absolutely. And when one person can win, and you can see your trading partners win, and you can see the people you trade with every day fight, and they pull through and get the wins and the titles and the championships, it becomes that much more attainable to yourself.
It totally builds the momentum. It gets everybody thinking positively, getting them in the winning swing.
Chris Dempsey, of course, is the Gladiators of the Cage light heavyweight champion, has held the title since July of 2013.
He is a multiple title holder. He won the light heavyweight championship at Road to Glory 5.
In September of 2013 as well.
10 years Skinny Man Dixon. He won the, I take that back. He won the light heavyweight championship against Louis Rumsey at North Shores Rising Power 2. He won the middleweight championship against 10 years Skinny Man Dixon at Road to Glory 5.
And you know, that's such a great characteristic to have in a fighter these days. These guys, they want to make it to the bigs. They want to go to the next level. They want to step up. But by doing this and holding multiple titles in multiple different weight classes, they're showing the guys at the top that they are versatile. They can move from weight division to weight division. They can lose the weight, gain the weight, and they can still fight and win.
Chris Dempsey's fight with Louis Rumsey was a little bit of a challenge because Rumsey had a hard time making weight. The fight with Rumsey was scheduled to be 185 to middleweight. He couldn't make the weight, so they agreed. Chris Dempsey was like, fine, I'll fight him at light heavyweight. Rumsey still couldn't make the weight at light heavyweight, and it didn't stop him. He just went out there and win, because that's what Chris Dempsey does.
I gotta say, Albert, this is a little bit off subject, but whenever I look at Chris Dempsey, the term granite chin literally comes to mind. He's got a jaw that just looks like it's waiting to get punched and not get hurt. Now with our official introductions is our ring announcer,
Ladies and gentlemen, before we start this contest, I would like to remind you once again this bouts are approved and sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. Our commissioner ringside, Ron Russitano. The executive director is the Honorable Greg Serb. Tonight's officials, Todd Krushka, Jeff Runk, and John Lepsevic. Our referee, Jimmy Chapel. Your timekeeper at the bell, Stephen the Hammer Cruz. Our physician at ringside, Dr. Eric Bond. I'm your ring announcer, Dan Bogan. Let's hear it from our ring girls, Emily and Brittany. This is our main event of the evening, calling for 5 5-minute rounds, and it is for the Gladiators of the Cage Middleweight Championship of the World. First, introducing the challenger. He weighed in 185 pounds. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. He's fighting out of the red corner with a reach of 71 inches. He's got a great record of 8 wins, 2 losses. He fights for Lee Brothers Team Lamadas. He's from Fort Wayne, Indiana, Nick Krause. And his opponent, the reigning Gladiators of the Cage middleweight champion of the world, weighing in at 185 pounds, 5 feet 11 inches, with a 71-inch reach, a record of 9 wins, 1 loss. He's the pride of Ambridge, Pennsylvania, fighting out of the Mat Factory, Chris Dempsey. Let's go to our referee for the final instructions.
All right, gentlemen, we already gone over the rules. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. You want to touch gloves? Back your corners.
Grant, you talked about Chris Dempsey having a chin that just looks like it wants to be punched. There is a man who showed up at North Shores Wrestling Power 4 by the name of Muhammad Abdullah, who thought that he had the advantage of Chris Dempsey in the striking game. It did not do him any good. Chris Dempsey finished him off to retain the middleweight championship.
Nick Krause shooting early with a single leg takedown. Dempsey's back is on the fence. Krause pulls to a double leg, now controlling both legs and over to the right leg of Dempsey.
Dempsey and Krause are both very, very gifted wrestlers. Of course, Dempsey was a UPJ graduate, wrestled for the University of Pittsburgh in Johnstown here. He was teammate with, I'd say, Johnstown MMA mainstay Eli Garshnick.
Krause has Dempsey down, but not completely in control yet. Dempsey looks to be doing a wall walk, hopefully getting back to his feet.
And you know, this is Chris Dempsey's chess. This is his chess match. This is where he's comfortable. This is where he's figuring out his strategy. He's completely comfortable here.
He looks calm. He looks relaxed.
He's breathing as regular. He's filling his tank.
Absolutely. He's letting Krause do a lot of work right now, trying to pick him up and carry his weight. These guys are not light. Definitely not light fighters.
One of the things that I don't think people give Chris Dempsey enough credit for, he's got raw power, raw deadlift power. And I mean, when he got Muhammad Abdullah in the submission hold he did, he just picked him up and powered him out.
Both fighters pummeling against the fence once again. Now Dempsey looking for double underhooks, and they clean break.
We talked about how closely matched Krause and Dempsey really are. Nick Krause could very well be the first man who takes Dempsey, puts him in the stratosphere like Dempsey's done to so many other people, and could possibly finish the fight here.
Very good punches by Dempsey. Krause with the shot, couldn't quite get it. Dempsey having the front headlock now. Dempsey appears to be putting all of his weight to pull down Krause's head. They stand back up, and Dempsey is throwing knees to the head from the clinch in the front headlock.
Chris Dempsey in the black trunks, Nick Krause in the white trunks.
Beautiful elbow by Chris Dempsey.
Gorgeous elbow. And it's that kind of striking, those, I don't want to say power shots, but I mean, that elbow had to have been really annoying, and I mean, had to have stunned Krause just for a second, enough to kind of put him off just a little bit.
Now, I can't help but wonder, Albert, if these guys are game planning for a possibility of a 5-minute round fight, or if they're just going to go out there and try to finish it as soon as possible.
I made the Peyton Manning reference that they're comfortable killing you with 1,000 cuts. That is a very, very accurate description of Chris Dempsey. When he fought Lewis Rumsey and won the light heavyweight championship, he took that fight, I mean, and just pushed the pace of the round for as long as he could. That's what I think is...
Dempsey with the dump. And onto side control by Dempsey.
To end that diatribe, I have to believe that Dempsey trained to go the entire distance.
Dempsey now in side mount, looking to work some elbows on Nick Krause's body and head. Can he get full mount?
I have to believe that Nick Krause has every wrestling accolade that Chris Dempsey has, and it might be a little bit more of a challenge than what Dempsey's used to.
Absolutely. Look for Dempsey to do a very controlled pass to full mount.
Looks like Dempsey has it planned in mind to pin down the right arm of Krause with his left knee and then pass.
Beautiful decision-making skills by Dempsey in keeping Krause off of the fence in this position.
Dempsey has a great head on him when it comes to fighting in the cage. He's such a strategist, and I don't think he gets credit enough for that.
And there is that slow, patient full mount I was talking about.
He'll get tapped from Nick Krause.
Will this be a submission, or will it result in Krause getting hit in the face?
Well, that resulted in Dempsey getting hit in the face.
Oh my, it did. What a scramble by two middleweight fighters in the cage at Gladiators of the Cage tonight. Dempsey back on top of Krause.
Dempsey's just such a thick, dense fighter that when he gets in a position like that, he's just so hard to move.
Smothering techniques by Dempsey,
and
driving his forearm into the throat of Krause.
And it's not even lay and pray. Like, it's not a blanket technique. It's Dempsey working his strategy and improving position constantly.
10 seconds left in the round. Dempsey still working on the ground and pound of Krause, hitting the body, hitting the head.
Excellent first round.
Round one is in the books, Albert. Beautiful show by both fighters. I think Dempsey showed a bit more control during that first round.
He did, but I still don't envy the job of the judges. I mean, they're the ones who have to try to decide this kind of fights, and I still think I'm prepared are willing to do that.
There's a reason we're sitting where we are right now, Albert.
Because we're both good at talking and interpreting what we see.
Dempsey looking very fresh in his corner, not taking a stool, having a few sips of water.
But it's Dempsey's breathing. I mean, when Krause had Dempsey up against the cage, he was regulating his breathing, and I mean, that prolongs the level of your gas tank. But you wouldn't believe it. It's all just in breath.
100%. Round 2. Chris Dempsey versus Nick Krause. At Gladiators of the Cage, the Road to Glory 6.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is indeed a 5-round title fight.
Dempsey taking center cage. Now Krause with the center.
Not a whole lot of pepper behind those shots from Krause, but I have to think he's trying to use that jab to create distance.
Very nice takedown on the part of Dempsey. Almost got reversed out of it. Dempsey once again using nice blows to soften up Krause.
Absolutely. Now, what I learned in Dempsey's fight with Muhammad Abdullah is never count Chris Dempsey out. It will do you no good. Muhammad Abdullah had him essentially in the world of his own strikes, and then Chris Dempsey took the second round and was like, yeah, it's mine.
Chris Dempsey is looking to be isolating the neck of Nick Krause right now.
Those arms of Chris Dempsey are so strong that a neck crank, a guillotine choke would be incredibly painful for Nick Krause.
Dempsey is not letting go of this neck. He seems like he knows what he wants to do. Back on top is Dempsey and side mount of Nick Krause.
A lot needs to be said for Nick Krause, though. He's doing a great job surviving and adapting through Dempsey's onslaught.
Dempsey throwing some nice back elbows.
Oh!
Clean shots by Dempsey, nailing Krause right on the button.
Nick Krause knows that he cannot eat any more of those. It will not do him any good. Those thunderous shots to the midsection of Nick Krause.
Absolutely. I'm hearing Dempsey's corner call for a knee slicer. See if we can see that one tonight.
If anyone can pull it off, I imagine it would be Chris Dempsey.
Dempsey going for the Darce choke.
Oh.
Second attempt here tonight. Can he pull that? It looks like it's in and it's deep, and he is wrenching the neck.
He needs to walk in towards Nick Krause's midsection.
Absolutely. Hook the leg over the body, and it appears Krause is not out of trouble yet. Dempsey holding on tight. Can his grip sustain? Can he hold on?
Excellent survival skills by Nick Krause. But Chris Dempsey doesn't stop. He's a bull shark like that.
Absolutely. Beautiful knee on the way out of the clinch by Dempsey.
Superman punch by Nick Krause.
Wow, and he backed Dempsey up with that one. Krause appears to have a guillotine of his own, and he has Dempsey in a bad way.
Now, I can't imagine that guillotine choke is as dangerous as it could be because Chris Dempsey's arm in there, but this is still really bad.
It appears Krause has Dempsey's head wrenched down, and they are both out again. A clean break by both fighters. What an event here tonight. Krause seems a little bit tired.
Oh, he does appear to be gassed, that's certain. But still, good head movement despite displaying fatigue.
Absolutely. Very fast beginning to this fight, especially for a 5-rounder.
A little bit of history, Grant. This is the first 5-round title fight in MMA that Johnstown has seen. I believe it's the first 5-round title fight in Gladiators of the Cage history.
Nick Krause looking lackadaisical on the backup, turning his back to Chris Dempsey. Looks like he's holding on for dear life, maybe.
Outstanding.
Dempsey is in full mount, and he has a compromised opponent. What a scramble by Krause. Krause once again going for that heel hook. Can he do it? Dempsey sitting on his leg, not allowing it, passing back to side mount.
That was great mat strategy by Dempsey to know his knee was being reaped and to get out of it quickly.
Dempsey nearly taking the back of Krause, controlling his feet. Krause trying very hard for a single leg takedown or some sort of a scramble or transition.
Now, with both men being wrestlers, by nature, they don't want to be on their back, so this has to be incredibly uncomfortable for Nick Krause.
Absolutely. Nick Krause does not look very relaxed on his back right now.
Okay, now, Chris Dempsey almost had a north-south choke. I have seen him finish opponents with that north-south choke.
And if he's got the north-south choke, then you know he's got that Darce that we saw attempted a few minutes ago.
He does such a great job of transitioning between submissions.
Notice Dempsey's listening to his corner. He's visibly watching his corner right now, getting instructions.
Well, the Mat Factory has Dominic Mazat in the corner.
The Honey Badger.
The Honey Badger. Another franchise fighter for Gladiators of the Cage. Of course, a lot of other great guys from the Mat Factory. Chris Dempsey has a lot of experience and talent to listen to from that corner.
Absolutely. Dempsey still on top in the guard of Nick Krause. Less than 10 seconds left in the round.
1,000 cuts, Grant. Nick Dempsey will kill you with 1,000 cuts.
Absolutely. I'm beginning to understand why you're saying that so much.
Yeah. Dempsey's in no hurry. He's in no hurry. He's scoring the points. He's improving position. Nick Krause, though, as much of the fight he's putting in, he does look fatigued.
Nick Krause looking a little bit like a deer in the headlights, but it doesn't actually say anything about him as a fighter.
I've seen fights end where a guy was practically dead on his feet, and he came back and won a knockout. I have to think of fights like Chris Lieben versus Terry Martin. Terry Martin was picking him apart, and one lucky shot, Chris Lieben won.
Absolutely.
That's always a possibility.
There's a reason why they call it a puncher's chance. One solid shot by Krause, one solid shot by Dempsey. A submission here or a takedown there could mean the end of the fight and the belt for either one of these gentlemen tonight.
Absolutely. Round 3 about to get underway.
Dempsey taking center cage like it's his.
Nick Krause not putting a whole lot of enthusiasm behind those punches.
Krause is looking sluggish.
And Dempsey's looking like the fresh man in. Now, I understand that Nick Krause is tired. I understand he's fatigued. But you're not going to get anywhere coming in against Chris Dempsey with half-hearted striking like that.
Nick Krause is looking at a possibility of 15 more minutes of fighting. Either he needs to conserve some energy or find a way to win right now.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful takedown. Beautiful.
There's a turn for it in judo, but it's almost like a whistle throw. And Chris Dempsey reversed.
Absolutely. Dempsey once again in top.
And good. Is that Darce choke again?
I think Dempsey's looking for that Darce.
Getting those arms of Chris Dempsey's around your neck, it's almost like a vice grip, just cutting off blood flow to the brain. It cannot be a pleasant experience.
Absolutely. Dempsey doesn't have the kind of arms that look like he's a bodybuilder. He's got thick sailor's rope for arms, you know?
Exactly. He's just such a dense, muscularly, he's very dense.
And his face was carved out of stone.
I might actually believe that, see what I've seen. Oh!
Beautiful shots by Dempsey. Really doing a great job of softening up Krause. He's playing the long game, and it's working, it seems. Dempsey on top in side control.
Dempsey's doing a great job of realizing that wherever way he switches his hips, he's putting different pressures, and he's able to implement different parts of the game.
Dempsey simply stepping over into full mount. Krause looking for that heel hook position once again.
It's there, but
Dempsey's not going to let that happen.
A lot of crowd support calling out for Dempsey here tonight. Nick Krause has got that leg grapevine. Now, if Nick Krause were to get the figure 4 there on the knee like that, it could possibly be like a lockdown.
Absolutely.
Could be dangerous.
Dempsey looking to duck under the leg possibly of Nick Krause to pass to the opposite side mount, and there he does it.
Unless Nick Krause is guiding Santa Slay tonight, I think he's got a bloody nose. And there's those dangerous shots.
A loud thud with that last shot to the face. Not right now, Albert.
Nick Krause cannot be taking those shots. I mean, this is just dangerous. If he keeps eating those shots, Jim Chappell will have every right and responsibility to stop this fight because Nick Krause is not defending himself.
Absolutely. Nick Krause has been spending a large majority of this round and parts of the other rounds on his back taking shots. It may not be in his best interest.
I think I've seen Americano a lot. Well,
The mouthpiece of Krause is out.
And we got a cut above the eye. We both know that doctors will stop because blood will get into the eye socket and guys cannot defend themselves.
The referee pausing the match to return the mouthpiece to Krause.
Krause's mouthpiece is in.
Dempsey once again front headlock position, looking to do damage. Spinning to back, controlling the body of Nick Krause.
There's potential for that north-south choke, the Dars, and armbar, it's all there.
Hard shots from Dempsey. Every shot he's landed to Krause's face has had a loud thud behind it.
Grant, I don't think I'm going to be surprised if the doctor comes into the cage between rounds after this one.
Dempsey in full mount on top of a tired Krause. Could this be it? Could this be it? Dempsey taking the back of Krause, trying to sink the choke. Krause is fighting. Dempsey is landing every shot he wants and will, and it is over. It is all over.
Chris Dempsey retains the Gladiators of the Cage Middleweight Championship. GOTC matchmaker Rich Miller keeps bringing Chris Dempsey new challenges. He's ready for the next one.
This will bring Chris Dempsey up to a record now of 10-1 on an 8-fight win streak.
What an incredible main event that was. I think all around the fights tonight were absolutely incredible. Johnstown, PA. I hope you were as impressed as I was.
Chris Dempsey winning in devastating fashion. A true class act.
Ladies and gentlemen, they literally bled for you and sweat for you tonight. Let's hear it for these gladiators, all the gladiators tonight. Your official decision, the end came at 4 minutes and 19 seconds of round 3 when referee Jimmy Chappell called a halt to the action. Your winner by technical knockout. Your winner, and still the middleweight champion of the world, Chris Dempsey! Let's give Nick Krause a big round of applause. Chris, they say to beat the man, you got to beat the man, you got to beat the man. And tonight, once again, you are the man 8 in a row.
It feels good. I'm just keep trying to win, go against tough competition. Nick is definitely one of the toughest guys I've ever fought. I give him all kind of credit for it. And I just want to try and make it to the next level. And to do that, I got to keep going after good fighters.
Now, what I got to say, of all the things, you maintain poise at all times, whether you're on offense or defense. And he almost caught you several times, but you had just no panic, no poise. You stayed composed, and you always came out of it. That's got to be hard to do.
I mean, it's really not. I remember a wrestler named Darian Caldwell came, and he beat one of the kids that they said that could be beaten. He said, it's not like I'm going to go in there and die. It's not the end of the world. So that's kind of the mentality I want to try to have is, if I lose, it's not the end of the world. I come back and fight again.
There's always a rematch. I know there's a party in Ambridge tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Bearded Buck, DNS Cranes, Ron Gillette Towing, the Rehab Center. I want to thank all my gyms, Mat Factory, PTT. Also want to thank Impact Fight Team out in Ohio. I did a lot of work there to get ready for this fight. And I just want to thank all my family and friends that came out to support me. And it means a lot that everyone came out, so thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champ is here, Chris Dempsey!
Once again, Gladiators of the Cage and Epic Leap Entertainment would like to extend a special thanks to the soldiers and sailors who serve our country and to our sponsors. Thank you again for watching Gladiators of the Cage, The Road to Glory 6.
Grant, it's been a pleasure calling the fights with you tonight.
Albert, very, very nice calling with you as well.
Make sure you guys are following Gladiators of the Cage on Facebook, on the internet. There's a lot of more great fights coming up. Chris Dempsey's got a lot more title fights coming up. Rich Miller's going to make sure of it. For Albert Cameron and Grant Berger, this has been Gladiators of the Cage.
gladiator, prepared for war. I'm a gladiator that will never fall. I'm a gladiator, so I gotta stand tall. Gladiators fight with their backs against the wall. I'm a gladiator, prepared